You know what makes a character like Beerus truly terrifying? It's not the fact that he has the title God of Destruction. It's not that. The main terror of Beerus is that this is a character that usually is shown joking around, having fun, always wanting to eat, and, throwing some comments to where he'll kill someone, but it's nowhere to the point to where you take him completely 100% serious. This man is just always just in joking around mode. But then, there's often some few, very rare moments when Beerus literally just drops the funny act and he goes into pure 100% serious mode. And it's episodes like these of Dragon Ball Super that reminds us that Beerus is not a character we think that Goku is at in terms of level of power. Because even myself included, I have thought in recent episodes, in about past 10 to 15 episodes, 20 episodes, I have also thought that maybe Goku is getting closer to that level of Beerus. I've even thought of that myself. I'm not gonna even lie or deny it. But now seeing this, it just reminds you that Beerus is not someone that Goku is even close to. Goku is nowhere near this man. Because if we think back on the Zamasu versus Goku fight that happened in the future timeline, Goku was struggling. And then you see this episode, and Beerus literally, he dropped the entire joking around act. He went straight into the God of Destruction mode. And he completely obliterated Zamasu in an instant. Second. It wasn't even a fight. And the last time I think we've ever seen something truly this overpowered, like in terms of just a difference in power, I say was in the Frieza saga. Now, granted, we did see some overpowered stuff with the Buu saga and in the Cell saga as well, and even some parts of Dragon Ball Super. But when I'm talking about pure 100% difference in power, just completely overkill, it was definitely this right here compared to the Frieza, when Frieza was just blowing people up like it was nothing. This, just the difference in power that Beerus has compared to Zamasu was just right there. You could instantly see it when he just said Hakai, and he just destroyed this man. He just completely obliterated. He was gone. And it's scary when you think that this man could do that exact same thing to Goku if he wanted. He could literally just turn around and just disintegrate Goku and destroy him. That's the power of this man. And so Beerus, I gotta say, I was legit impressed with how badass he was in this episode, because Beerus, he's a really good character, but it's episodes like this that make you realize why he's such a good character and how epic he can be when he really does get serious and when he's actually doing his job and needs to, make sure the universe is safe to all the other universes and all that. You just see how he's doing his job properly. When you see that, you're like, my god, this man is badass. Now, honestly, I didn't expect to even see a moment like that. When I saw, or was walking into this episode, I thought it was going to be a Goku versus Zamasu episode. I thought that's what was going to go down. And we saw how Zamasu is, charging his ki behind his back and he's about to slash Goku. I thought a fight was about to happen. But then, as soon as he was about to slash at Goku, instantly, the music starts playing, and Beerus grabs this man's hand, turns it around, and he's like, don't get cocky. And then he just says, Hakai, and it just disintegrates this man. Oh my god, like that music in that scene, like you knew there was some serious shit going down when Beerus went full serious mode, when he grabbed this man's hand, jumped in between Goku and Zamasu's blow, instantly, that speed right there, that was just spontaneous speed. Like, this man instantly got there, stopped that blow, and he didn't even try to play with him or mess around with him, because majority of villains or anyone that's getting in a fight or is cocky or overpowered, they tend to draw out the battle a little bit, and then eventually they get their ass kicked because they want to get too cocky. I mean, look what Vegeta did with, semi-perfect Cell, Cell's second form. I mean, let's think back to that. So, seeing how Beerus, even though we know he's already powerful, was willing to just kill Zamasu like that, and it was just instant, that makes me appreciate his character so much more, because it was such a clean kill. There was, like, no dragged-out fight to it. It's just instant death. That's what it meant to go up against the God of Destruction, and it just concretes that point of how strong this man really is, because when he gets serious, he'll not mess around. He won't try to fight you. He'll just kill you right there, and that makes me appreciate Beerus' character. Now, Toei Animation, I give you a lot of shit, okay? I give you a lot of shit about your art and animation and stuff, I gotta admit. But, I gotta say, regardless of that, what you guys have been doing in these recent episodes of Dragon Ball Super, especially with the story, the mystery, the world building and stuff, you guys are doing a fantastic job. And I'm just so happy to see how Dragon Ball Super continuously gets better by the episode. Maybe not the art and animation, still not the best ever, but when it comes to the story and the characters and stuff, it's gotten hell of a lot better than, the first part of Dragon Ball Super. Now, Toei, I gotta admit, I'm not the biggest fan of some of the music that has been in Dragon Ball Super. There's some songs I do like, of course, but I gotta say, that Beerus song that was in this episode at that one critical moment, you're holding out, Toei. You're holding out on that soundtrack. You're definitely holding out, because that music is what really got me into the scene. It wasn't just the epic Beerus moment, but it was the music, the dramatic music that just started playing in that moment, and you knew something bad was about to happen. Toei, you're holding out on that soundtrack. I want that soundtrack now. I want that full song that played in this episode. I want it. I want that entire song because of how good it was. But enough of that. Let's just talk about the other segments of this. So, one of the big things we found out about this episode was more world building, which is one of the big things I like about Dragon Ball Super. We found out that if Beerus, if he uses his Hawkeye and destroys someone, like he completely destroys them, apparently they are destroyed in all other timelines. For instance, future timelines, they're completely destroyed. Now, Trunks brought up a very interesting thing, which I was very glad and happy that this was brought up in this episode, because it kind of removes a plot hole that's in the series if it wasn't discussed. And that was when Trunks destroyed the androids, let's say in our timeline, our present-day timeline where Goku is what we normally see, and when he went back to the future, the androids were still there. Nothing changed. It was completely two separate timelines, so no matter what you did in this other timeline, it wouldn't change the other. And Trunks brought this up to Beerus, and that made me very happy how this was brought up, because it made me realize that the writers of Dragon Ball Super are not forgetting these certain plot threads and leaving these plot holes completely open. I respect that type of writing, at the very least trying to let everybody know they acknowledge that something like that did happen in the previous parts of the series, because a lot of writers would tend to just kind of brush under the rug, like, oh, you guys will forget about it, it's a long time ago, it's like 10 plus years ago, you guys will forget about that. I'm just so glad that was, kind of brought up in this episode. And Beerus stated, apparently, if he uses his power and he destroys someone, let's say in this timeline, they're destroyed in the future timeline. Now, spoilers, if you watch the preview of the episode, which you should, and it's kind of already logical even without watching the preview, that Zamasu and Goku Black is still alive. Now, the big thing here, what I think this means is that since Zamasu, he wished on the dragon, he wished to, become immortal, I'm going to assume since he wished for immortality from the dragon god, that immortality from this dragon god is a hell of a lot more powerful than, let's say, immortality from Shenron. And that's probably why Zamasu can't be erased from other timelines, even if he's killed in this said timeline, because that Zamasu is immortal. And I feel like the dragon, since he has more rules and he can do a lot more things, especially powerful things like, making a planet in another universe come back and stuff, I'm going to assume that's why Beerus most likely couldn't erase this man's existence, is because he wished for immortality, and that's what's going on here. Beerus couldn't completely obliterate him right there. He might have killed all the Zamasus that weren't immortal, but at the very least, he couldn't kill that one since it was immortal. So that's a really cool thing. That's what I think is going on there with the plot when it comes to how Zamasu survived that. But still very interesting information how Beerus stated if he was to kill someone, let's say in this timeline, it would carry over, and it would be for all future things, because he is the god of destruction. So I respect that. I do like that writing and all that. So if this would have been anyone else, like for instance, if it would have been another god or someone he was going up against, they would have been completely erased, and he wouldn't have had to worry about it. So, yeah, that's a little bit of world building right there about Zamasu. Now, let's talk about the other things of this episode. So, Zamasu, he pretty much, his plan gets foiled in our present timeline. Do I think he's dead right now? I mean, after that sheer out overkill of what Beerus did, I don't think the man is really alive. The only way I could see Zamasu in our current present timeline being alive is if the immortality that the future Zamasu has can bring him back, and it affects all the other Zamasus in present and future and past. I'm going to assume that's the only way the one that, Beerus killed in this episode could possibly be alive. Now, Granted, I don't think he is, but that's the only way I could assume he is alive. So, for now, for the most part, the present-day Zamasu has been GG'd. He's completely out of the picture. Now, talking about Goku Black, in the preview of next week's episode, it is stated that there's something about Goku Black we don't truly understand. There's something we don't really understand. It's not necessarily just someone that's a fake copy of Goku. It's something else. It's something more. So, there's something about this wish that was given to, you know, make this new Goku that we don't necessarily understand. So I'm kind of curious exactly what type of information we're going to find out about Goku Black in next week's episode when, you know, we find out. Because, I mean, it seems simple enough on paper that maybe it was just, you know, a fake Goku summon, a copy of him that's kind of evil and all that. But now seeing the preview and letting us know that there's something more to him, I'm curious what direction that's going to go. But I'm looking forward to it because Dragon Ball Super has been on a roll in these recent episodes. So I probably am not going to be disappointed whatsoever. So that's about it when it comes to this episode. A very good episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.